This is Bad Advice with Chris Cubas, the podcast where unqualified people give unsolicited advice. This week on the show, we've got comedians Maggie Maye, Steve Hernandez, and Rhea Butcher. We get into all kinds of weird stuff. People sleeping in their mom's bed, picky eaters, what to do with ashes. It gets weird, but it's always funny, so give it a listen. Welcome to Bad Advice. Thank you guys for coming back, listening to another episode. This has been like, I know I say this every week, but I get to look at my favorite people in the face from all over the country and just talk for a minute like a human being, which I haven't done outside of my house and I don't know how long. Let's jump right into it. One of my oldest friends, one of the funniest people I know, Maggie Maye, how are you?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
I am good. Maggie, did you get done up for this podcast or do you just live your life like that?
I just put on lip gloss and I am very, very, very surprised with how good my face looks right now.
No, it's perfect. And people keep asking me whenever I ask them to do the podcast, they're always like, is this going to be just audio or do you do video? And I'm like, I'm not asking people to get like put together for a podcast. No.
I wasn't going to. I was not going to put anything together for a podcast.
I wouldn't expect you to. How have you been, Maggie? It's been a minute. I haven't seen you in a while.
I've been okay. But, you know, based on this ring light, a bitch is glowing. So
glowing bitches aside. Up next, Big Hearn Steve Hernandez is here. How are you, sir?
I'm good, Chris. You know, we've actually never met or spoken to each other before.
In like real life, I know, right? We've just been like internet people for a while. So this is like a weird way to do that.
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. Got engaged like a month ago or something like that.
Congratulations. You and me both, sir. I also got engaged like a month ago.
I think we're the same age, too.
Yeah.
How long did you date your person for?
We have been together for like 7 years.
Yeah, I'm going on 6. We must have felt like the Holy Spirit like was guiding both of us.
Well, let me ask you. She asked me. I got proposed to, which is rad, by the way. I don't know people that might. I did Demi's Gilmore Girls podcast, Gilmore Guys, a while back, and it was an episode where it like was the question like, is it okay for a woman to propose to a man? And like I just kind of asked that question to the audience because that's what the episode was about. And some lady in the back of the audience was like, "Fuck you!" She got so mad that I even proposed the question that we were watching a TV show about for an hour. But let me tell you, it's awesome. Get proposed.
Were you surprised?
Well, I mean, no. So like, she's been married before and was kind of clear like that wasn't really into maybe getting married again. So I was just like, all right, that's, I'll respect your boundaries. We'll figure this out. And then she figured it out. So it was like surprising, but like not unexpected, if that makes any sense.
If someone asked me to get married, I would cry.
Yeah, that's what you do in that situation.
I would weep. So congratulations to both of us and to being our age too. I'm really happy to be this age.
Fuck yeah. How did it go for you? How was your proposal? Was it like, did you like make a thing out of it or did you just like,
I'd been married before too. So we've talked about this. I'm like a non-monogamous person too. I've just had issues with it, but because of the pandemic, it's squished so much time into these like months where it's like, oh, I love this person so deeply and they're such an amazing partner. And if we broke up, it would be a divorce anyway. So we might as well, make it official. I would love to give this to her because it would make her so happy. And once I did it, I am like so excited to be a husband. It is like made me love her more in a way that I could have never, ever imagined. And I can't wait to call this woman my wife. And whatever I was a bad husband before, so I want another shot. I'm like the Dodgers, baby. Let me go to the World Series again. I promise I won't fuck this up.
And last but not least, we met in, Winnipeg maybe was the first time. And then LA, I don't know. It was all over the place. Rhea Butcher, how are you?
What up, Chris? I'm doing great. Now that I see all these beautiful faces and hear these wonderful stories, like, what the hell? What a beautiful time.
How has your pandemic been? Did you get engaged?
No, I have not.
Not yet.
That's a shitty thing. So I work from home for my day job, And we were having like our team meeting over to Zoom or whatever. And everyone was like, oh, what did you do this weekend? And I was like, well, I got engaged. And the person coming after me also got engaged that weekend, this lady, and she was livid that, you know, I probably stole her thunder and like act completely accidentally.
Oh, wow.
So no engagement. How have you been otherwise?
I mean, you know, pretty good. It is always weird to be like, I'm doing pretty good, but I think that it's important to share that if you are doing okay.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean that I don't think things need to be different or that things are terrible or whatever,
Sure.
but kind of like what Steve was saying, it's like this time, it's given me an opportunity to spend a lot of time with myself in a way that I just hadn't before, you know, to really, because I mean, that's the choice. You either sit with yourself and you sit with the discomfort of sitting with yourself, or you, I don't know, go for a walk around your neighborhood every second of every day, you know, or like just watch television, which is also like a totally legitimate thing. But I was just like, you know, it just gave me the time, because this is the longest that I have not left California in the air since 2013. You know, like this is the longest amount of time that I have not spent a significant amount of time on the road. Like I traveled in January and February, and I've since been like, I made like, you know, a 2-night trip to like a national park, and I went to San Diego, but that's like it, you know, because of the pandemic, and that's fine. That's what needs to happen. But it has given me this opportunity for my life to completely shift and just be totally different than it has been before. And I'm grateful for it because it's just given me different types of time, you know, to do a lot of like self-discovery and care and all kinds of stuff that, you know, wasn't available before.
Have you learned anything about like, about just being like, has being at home like taught you anything about like your neighborhood, your community? Have you been in the same like house or apartment or whatever for that like long of a period of time, or is this a new spot?
I mean, I moved to a new part of Los Angeles like 2 years ago. And so I'm in a new neighborhood, and like, just, I am really grateful for I'm in the Highland Park neighborhood, and I'm grateful to be over here because it's very like working class and like neighborhoody in a way. And my partner is actually on the neighborhood council, and I thought I wanted to do that, and I was like, no, I just like to make speeches. I don't want to do actual work. I would just love for somebody to tell me what the good policies are, and then I'll go stand in front of people and tell them how they should think that way. But I don't want to go to a 6-hour neighborhood council meeting about a messed up sidewalk. Like I don't. But she's done a tremendous job, and it is like amazing to like participate in that service, even just in my own like house. And I don't know, I have plants that don't die. Like I take care of plants and you know what I mean? And we like tie dye, like just like creating things, which we do sell the tie dye, but like that wasn't the intention when we started doing it. It's just been fun to just like go, oh, what do I like? You know what I mean? Like, what do I like to do?
That has come up before on this podcast. Actually, I think it was Caitlin Gill and I were talking about that. Was like, when you're so singularly focused on comedy, you kind of forget like, oh, I have other interests, or I can like create in other ways. And this is for sure. I don't know about you, but I haven't done a fucking stand-up comedy show since March. So I have to feel like it's taught me kind of learn like to do some other shit. I'm making ramen broth in the other room right now. Like that's a 12-hour process. Like I'm doing weird shit like that. I'm getting weird with it.
Wow. Just like it's a 12-hour process. Is it like
it's just Yeah. You're boiling neck bones and skimming fat for like 12 hours.
So you're kind of a witch is what you're
saying. Yeah, a little bit. It's neck bones. It's eye of newt. It's the classic ingredients. Yeah.
Did you have to put it in a cauldron?
Yeah, exactly.
It is a cauldron. Yeah, you do have to dance
around it a little bit.
The naked dancing is what adds the flavor. That is true. So you have to get into that. Speaking of getting into things, let's go ahead and jump into some of these letters, guys. Okay. Do you guys, were you ever like, did you ever read Dear Abby or like know other like,
oh yeah,
you know what it is, but have you read them? I knew it to be a thing, but I never really read the column. These people, man, they like the things they will write in about is wild. Like,
Oh yeah.
Just the world before the internet. Like to be able to like look it up and be like, oh yeah, he's cheating on me. I should just leave him. You know?
Right.
that would be like a okay, well, listen, some of these are real. We'll get into it. All right, let's do this. Where to go? Hold on, I had a good one. Here we go. Let's go with... All right, dear Abby, my dad died in April after a brief illness. Before he passed, my stepmother encouraged him to donate his body to science because she is to be buried with her first husband, and she didn't want the expense of burying my dad. I went to pick up my father's ashes as she requested. That's my water. When I got there, she invited me into her bedroom to see that she had made a shrine to her first husband, who had died 3 years before she and Dad were married. The one photo she had of Dad was 2 inches by 3 inches and was the one from his memorial invitation. With a broken heart, I made my way to the door. Abby, she was married to my dad for 30 years. He supported her, took care of her, and worked to the age of 75 to keep her happy. As I reached the front door, I remembered what I was there for in the first place, my dad's ashes. They were still in the UPX box in a bench that he kept his shoes and boots in by the door. Seriously, who does that? Signed, grieving daughter in New York.
I mean, this lady does that. That's who does that. You know what I mean?
Clearly. Now, so when I first read this, I was like, okay, she was married to this other man for a long time, and then, the first husband, and then maybe a short marriage to this husband. She was married to the second husband for 30 years.
Can I also ask a quick follow-up? Because there's a part at the beginning that says she requested my dad donate his body to science. And then they're like, I went to pick up the ashes. I'm like, that's an interesting nugget that you included that didn't pan out at all.
I like very much that he was like, no, bitch, you are going to take these ashes and figure something out. Absolutely.
I think the body donation couldn't come until Thursday. And she's like, I need this body out my house today. I'm going to get ready to burn this hoe.
Wow.
Also, did he live with the shrine of the first husband for 30 years? In the bedroom?
That's some information they really should have included. Like, was that there? But he was also in the shrine. I mean, this is just a person that clearly has some codependence issues. Also, I would call them out for their language of saying that their dad worked for 75 years to keep her happy. He clearly did not. And that's on her, not on him.
Well, also, the other way of looking at this, too, is that the dad who died was a romantic and understood that, like, she lost her first husband and was just, like, okay with the whole thing. I mean, it's so funny to me. I listen to Dan Savage a lot. I used to listen to him a lot. But a lot of this stuff is just like, just communicate with the person. But who cares if your fucking stepmom has this shrine? Just take the ashes and leave and never look at that woman in that face again. Like, truly, why is this woman so distressed?
Yeah, why are you spending so much time? Like, you're not going to spend a lot of time in your ex-stepmom's bedroom, I'm assuming. So, like, just punch out. That's very true. Although, is it odd?
Yes.
So you're married. Yes, the whole thing is odd. Absolutely.
I'm just kidding, Chris.
More specifically, let's say you're married to someone for 30 years. At some point in that 30 years, you have a conversation about what are we going to do? What are our afterlife plans, right? Not necessarily heaven, hell, but like where are we getting buried? That kind of shit. And she's like, "Oh, you're not involved. I'm getting buried with my first husband. You can go be on a body farm somewhere for the CSI agents. I don't give a shit what we do to you."
If that shrine was in the bedroom, there was no conversation.
Yeah,
that's true.
Okay,
he already knew.
Hey,
what
are we gonna do? She's like, "What do you mean? What are we gonna do?" And she just hugs an urn from someone else.
I don't. But now, so I think also what's missing from this is, I think clearly the dad, the second dad, this woman's dad, not the first husband, the second husband, was okay with all of this. He seemed like he made his peace, right?
And also, I know my dad, my dad's 66 now, and he's been talking about dying for the past 10 years. And he says, burn my body. I don't spend any money on my body. I don't give a shit. When I'm dead, I'm dead. And if her dad is anything like that, then I mean, this is stuff that maybe her relationship with her dad wasn't as good as she wanted it to be. This feels like something that's coming from her rather than putting it on her stepmom. Like, who cares?
Yeah. I personally,
she wanted to be more involved in it, and she's like, last minute trying to figure it out. Out of this. Oh, Dad, I should have done more.
And this, my dad had married a woman and she died tragically, but it was like a real shit show. And he kind of wrote us off because of this woman. And so it could have been that kind of situation too, where maybe she had no relationship with her dad because of the stepmom. And this is the final thing she's putting on the stepmom. But that has nothing to do with the stepmom. This has to do with the dad. So that's what I'm saying is she's absolving her dad of a lot of things, even in death. And it might not be the case.
Maggie, what do you want done with your body when you die? Have you thought about it?
I'm never going to die.
Never mind. I don't even know why I asked the question, Maggie. I saw it in your eyes the second I said it. I don't know what I was thinking. I apologize. Rhea, how about you? Do you have plans?
Maggie Maye? Absolutely not. Yeah, I mean, my plans are, I just think, getting burnt up is the best plan. And I actually my partner and I had this conversation, recently, given like COVID and stuff. And like, we don't have any legal connection or anything. And it's like, oh, right. I mean, it is interesting to have that conversation and remember how much you didn't want to have that conversation and then get to the other side of it and go like, oh, right. Yeah. It's like not a big, for me, it's not a big deal, and I was like, I don't know, just to, take me somewhere that seems cool. Like, I don't really have any designs on where I would need to be. I was like, hang on to me if you need to. And then whenever you're ready, put me somewhere that seems fun, because that just seems like the easiest thing to do.
For sure. It does seem easy. I've always wondered, how is that bad for the environment? Cremation. Yeah, just cremation in general. You're burning, all that's got to go. That energy's got right? There's got to be like an exhaust or a smokestack or something.
Well, it's definitely better than the cemetery system.
Oh yeah, that seems like a mess. That seems like a mess. No, I saw there's a thing now where they bury you with a tree and you turn into a tree. That seems real nice. Like you just they put you in a bag with some
like 6 feet under.
Yeah. And then you turn into a tree.
No spoilers.
Seems pleasant. Yeah. I'm also going to do the Game of Thrones version of that where they catapult me over a wall.
Behead me.
I heard they can turn you. This is how I changed my mind. If I ever die, I hear that they can take your body and compress it into a jewel.
Oh yeah, I did.
Whoa.
But you mean a vape though, right? A jewel.
Buy
me at 7-Eleven.
I just want to flex in the afterlife is what I want to
do. Word. Let's go on to another letter. This one is wild. Dear Abby, my mother has this odd habit that my younger sister Sarah and I don't agree with. It's only the three of us in our house. Sarah and I are in high school and college. Our mother forces one of us to sleep with her in her room every night. Sarah sleeps in Mom's room more often than I do, and rarely gets a chance to sleep in her own bed. On the few occasions when Sarah is sick, I sleep with Mom. But if we're both sick, she picks one of us anyway. Abby, this has persisted for years. I have tried many times to convince my mother to let us sleep in our own rooms, but she ignores me or accuses me of not loving her enough. She says the same thing.
Oh, there's the deadly words.
The twist of the knife. I'm worried about my mother. I feel as though she's depressed or worried about being abandoned. At the same time, I don't want us sleeping in Mom's bed forever. We have our own lives and rooms. What would be the best thing to do in this situation? Signed,
move out.
In Maryland. Is there any other option? There's no.
You can't take care of your sister either. You just have to do for you and be a great example for her. To be like, yes, I'm done. Goodbye. I will figure it out. And then she can maybe do it too.
When you become 18, you can come sleep on my couch or something.
The mom is only doing that because she wants them to move out. She's like, okay, well, you want to stay in my house?
These bitches
come sleep in my bed. Okay, Stella, you want to try this shit next year? You're gonna have to sleep in my bed too. So
that is, I read that letter and was like, is this? I don't even understand. Like.
Yikes.
How does that start at let's say that starts as a child, right? you slept with your like a kid when you're like a little kid. At what point you both have a moment where you both realize, okay, this is weird. We either have to move out, we got to stop this, or just fucking go whole hog into it. And the mom just leaned. The leaning in is what I can't. This is also, by the way, flip of the coin. These are white people, right?
Oh yes. We don't need a coin. We don't need to flip it. They're white.
These could be Mexicans too.
Oh, okay.
Mexicans too. Because I was actually picturing my mom the whole time, so I think it could be Mexicans. Yeah, this is and they obviously though, you know, Chris, they obviously haven't set their foot down yet. And so much so to the extent that they're writing Dear Abby.
Yeah, right.
So they don't have any friends. They don't have anybody they could go to. These are like traumatized girls right here.
I would venture to guess that the mother was also traumatized. Because I don't think that you do these kinds of things with children if you're not also dealing with your own trauma in some sort of way. Because you said it starts with childhood, right? And I was like, yeah. The mother's childhood, probably, and then her mother's childhood, and then her mother's. You know, it's like you can pull the thread, and it just keeps going and going and going.
I'm just imagining the mom just showing up to the kid's room like she's a child. Like, can I sleep in your bed today?
She's got a blanket. I heard a ghost.
I had a bad dream.
Right.
The only thing I think might be remotely healthy, in quotes. The way this could be worse is they don't know it's weird. Mm-hmm. Like, let's say they go there, college, they're going to sleep over a friend's house or something for the first time, and they go crawling with the friend's mom. Oh, I thought we were all going to bed. What did you know what I'm saying? So, like, at least it's not one of those weird things that you find out, oh, only my family does this. You know what I'm saying?
Where's everybody else?
Yeah. You guys don't have...
Why isn't the whole slumber party in here?
Yeah, is this not you guys don't have a California king? I thought we were all just going to climb into these. Let's push these beds together and get comfortable. How do you like, other than just, all right, I'm out. You have to move out, right? But you have to leave. The high school girl can't move out. Hopefully she can, but likely she can't. Is there any is there any way to broach this with the mom that is not like insulting? I don't know how you say, hey mom, I think you need help, right? Or hey, I maybe you just start peeing the bed. Maybe you start becoming an adult bedwetter and she throws you out.
Just get wild drunk. Just pee in bed every night. Destroy your liver.
Yeah.
I mean, the only way you can do it is not do it. Right. Like the only way you can not get in bed with her is don't get in bed with her.
Don't go to sleep with mom or stay up later than she does. Maybe maybe you just have to
eat a lot of beans so you fart late at night,
Yeah. Start working.
Drink a lot of Mountain Dew so your teeth are chattering all the time.
Yeah, this was a weird one. I feel like there really isn't any way to like we said, I think they just have to move out. But maybe, and clearly mom needs some therapy or whatever. But you even said it when she said accuses me of not loving her enough. That is luckily my mother was never that, you know what I mean? She'd say some weird shit every once in a while, but it was never that guilt kind of a move that you see or whatever. So I don't even know how to address this. The worst we ever, oh man, I still this day, this is the worst I ever feel about some shit I said to my mom. And it's so mean, but I didn't mean it in the moment. So we were I was going to school and I was waiting for the school bus in the morning, right? And she said something about tickling me on my chin. And I said, and I went to tickle her on her chin. And I said, which one? Because she had a bigger lady. And Maggie, that's the face, because I was 12 when I said that, maybe 13. My mother died 2 years ago. And I wouldn't have been shocked if she had etched it on her tombstone. She brought that shit up any opportunity she could to make me feel good. So that's just funny to me. I don't know. Sometimes you got to say fun. To me, that shit still makes me laugh. Anyway, we can move on to another one. We've got some other letters here. Maybe this one is less fucking sad. My husband works, but I do not. I stay very busy, but he expects me to pack him a lunch every day. It must include a breakfast item and a lunch item, as he is starving by the time he arrives at work, even if he ate at home. My problem is he has a huge list of do not pack preferences because he's so picky. It changes randomly. His list includes don't pack so many carbs. I want protein. No sandwiches. No spaghetti leftovers using twisted noodles. Only regular noodles. Don't use so many peppers. Use more bell peppers and tomatoes. The list goes on and on. I've told him he needs to eat what I give him since he expects a completely different lunch than our son, but he constantly complains about the lunches. However, if I don't pack his lunch, he refuses to pack one and then overspends on takeout. One man shouldn't spend $20 at Taco Bell in a single meal. I'm getting frustrated, and I don't know how to get this list to stop expanding. Signed, Frustrated Lunch Packer.
Yikes.
I would like to say that I feel attacked, as $20 at Taco Bell is not an unreasonable order depending on the situation.
Yeah, of course. Depending on the situation. Absolutely. But it feels like he's weaponizing his Taco Bell orders. You know what I mean? That's it. It's like, look, man, I love Taco Bell. My order is $10. So like $20 is not that much money, but it's just like, spending that much at Taco Bell because you didn't get it, whatever.
Because he didn't get the lunch he expected from home.
Yeah, exactly.
100%. That is petty. That's a petty order.
And he's going to go to Taco Bell and he has so many food restrictions, but Taco Bell is what he lands on.
Yeah, no carbs.
I can tell you for sure they don't have twisted noodles. They only have regular noodles. So that's
cinnamon twist.
No, I also don't even know what twisted noodles are. What does that mean?
Like a rotini.
Yeah.
See, I feel like none of these letters really want answers. They're just like passive aggressive and hoping that he reads it in the newspaper.
Like, that's what I think. I go to therapy. I just want to get this out of my body. I don't want to think about it anymore. Well, I mean, don't make the shit for this guy. That's the simple answer. It's like, look, it's my way or the highway, bro. Figure it out. Mm-hmm.
So many of these letters, the response should just be get a divorce. Like, this man is not nice to you. I don't understand.
Well, he's obviously, this isn't about the lunch. He's obviously mad at her for something. And they're not talking about it. So I don't think it's crazy those restrictions are crazy, but she knew who this guy was. So is he a picky guy like this? She's been married. It sounds like they have a kid and stuff. But it seems like he's adding to things. So this, like I said before, this is about something else. And so it could be that, I don't like to, but she seems like she's pretty happy and she says she has a full life. So something's going on where he doesn't feel like he can talk to her about something. I don't mean to put it on her. We're just talking here, right? I don't ever really like to take the guy's side on the thing because it's usually not the case. But this is obviously a passive aggressive move. So I don't think it has anything to do with the food.
Yeah, Steve, I think you're totally right. And I don't even think it's like taking his side necessarily. You're just because like it could be something that she didn't even do that he's upset about. And like the manifestation of his frustration with her is in this like needling list and demands of her or whatever. It's a great point, Steve.
Does he maybe have a tapeworm? So here's my question. What is this? He has to have he's like a hobbit. He has to have second breakfast. If he leaves the house, he's still so hungry by the time he gets to work that he needs a breakfast and a lunch.
Okay, and the $20 Taco Bell. So he's super fat. We're not talking about it, but I can say it because I am super fat. He's super fat. Yeah. You can't be super fat and picky. I'm sorry. As a prominent member of the fat person gang, you can't just you can't be picky too, all right? I didn't get this big being picky. You can't put your foot down now, all right?
I feel like that she had, so clearly, like you said, that he's weaponizing this Taco Bell order. I think she's got to weaponize a lunch one of these days. I think she packs him a sandwich made with twisted noodles and too many peppers. She just does just goes hog wild on it with a Post-it, like let's talk or something. You have to draw a line in the sand.
You just created the twisted noodle sandwich.
AKA the revenge.
Yeah. So then the next day he's gonna have like a $300 Taco Bell.
Oh, that's true. They're not gonna have rent. This is gonna escalate. Yeah. So Dagwood of noodles, and then it's back.
Oh my god!
Now he owns the Taco Bell franchise.
The list had use less peppers, and then the next thing was use bell peppers.
100%. 100%. That is absolutely right. It says, I'll read it back.
What are you talking about?
I'll read it back. Don't use too many peppers. Semicolon. Use more bell peppers. The next line.
What a thin margin right there.
Yeah.
It seems controlling. Like some people don't have any control in their lives. And so he just wants to have one area in his life where he has like complete control. And I feel like he's just pushing it to see like how far he could take her until she's like, you know what, have your side bitch make it for you. That same side bitch who you're feeding that second breakfast to. Tell her to do this shit.
That's why it's a $20 Taco Bell thing.
It's for two. It's for two. Oh, I think we've just exposed a whole other side of this. The infidelity involved in this Taco Bell order. That explains the second breakfast. Oh, I think you got to the bottom of it, Maggie. That's it.
But yeah, you said it. You did say it right now, Maggie. But yeah, so it could be that. What if this woman has complete control of their life? It sounds like she's in control of the budget too, because she gets mad if he gets the $20 things. So she has complete control, and his thing is shrunk so that all he has is this damn lunch order. And so he's shrinking, and it's getting worse and worse, and they just need to go to therapy.
Yeah, I feel like that's going to be the answer for most of those. It's probably just going to be, I have to go to therapy. Seems like the response, except for maybe this one. We'll find out. My husband and I are in our early 50s and married for 9 years. I hate to say this, but the way he dresses embarrasses me to tears, and it's hurting our relationship. Is it acceptable for a man to wear tights and nothing else? I love it.
Is she married to Robin Hood?
Yeah. I'm not talking yoga pants. I mean ballerina dancer sheer tights that leave nothing to the imagination. He mainly wears them in our garage where people who drive by can see, but lately I've caught him standing talking to neighbors like that. Am I overreacting by telling him he can't wear things like that outside the house? If it isn't the tights, it's skin-tight biker-type shorts or shorts made from a mesh material that shows it all if there's a light source behind him. We have gone rounds over this almost daily. He promises he will stop, but it's only a matter of hours before he's back in costume. I am waiting. I am at the point where I'm going to grab all of these clothes and head to the dumpster. Please help. Does this man have an exhibition problem that's not being addressed?
What was this writer's name? I want to know what the what is it?
Yeah. It got cut off a little bit, but give me 1 second and I will. No. I got it right here. No worries. It's one of the early ones.
I really want to know what this pun is. You know what I mean?
Yeah. While I find that, what is this man trying to express? This feels like a change in clothing. You know what I mean? This seems like a change in behavior. So what is he trying to get out of ballerina tights in the garage?
Two things.
Mm-hmm.
He's either trying to regain his youth, like, oh, forget it. I'm still 11. I can wear these pants if I feel like it. And I care, I don't care how it looks like that, or he needs attention.
He needs some attention, clearly, and he's getting it. By the way, it's broken in Michigan. Not that fun. Come
on.
That's a little dramatic.
Yeah. So I want to know what these mesh shorts are about. Are like, what? I get a biker short, but what are mesh shorts?
I started buying these. I have 2 pairs. I bought them. It's like a gay like men's clothing company called, I believe it's called Woof, and they're double mesh, so it's not a single thing, but they're extra short, and they're like just supposed to be, you're not supposed to wear underwear with them, so it's double mesh. It's not supposed to totally show your stuff, but I mean I do think maybe that maybe this is like a sexuality thing for the guy where he's starting to like want to express himself in these different ways where he hasn't before. Because I wouldn't have thought about buying those shorts before, but now the more I'm embracing my queer identity, the more I like to dress like stuff where I'm showing off like my meat a little more, not my private meat, of course. I'm not trying to put that on anyone. But I do want to dress in a way where maybe if you look at me, you could tell, oh, this guy's just not there might be something else going on with this guy, which is maybe what he's trying to put out there.
That was one of my, I almost said concerns, but that's not the right. I was wondering the same thing. Is this someone who's like not comfortable enough to approach his wife with some sort of curiosities that he has, and this is his way of trying to sort of subtly let her know, hey, I have some other areas of my life that I'm trying to explore here, which is like fine. My concern is those poor neighbors. Like, I don't know that I want this 50-year-old mesh short wearing dude just suddenly talking to me about my dog. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I feel like the only one that raises any concern is the tights, because they're transparent in a way. You know, it's one thing to wear bike shorts and mesh shorts where it's like, well, I can really see that, you know, like we all know what's going on, but like tights are not intended for that at all. Like they're literally, you know, and like that is a little strange, you know, like just the tights, like one thing to wear them in your garage with the door down and stuff, like whatever, you know, do your thing, enjoy your body or whatever. But talking to a neighbor in just a pair of like actual tights, like just tights is like, babe, I don't know if you should be doing that. Like I support you.
Like tights isn't like some legs, like pantyhose?
Yeah,
that's what I'm assuming. She says sheer. They're very sheer dancer tights, she says. So
you know what?
I mean, I've also seen women wear those things around where I'm like, girl, I don't know what you're doing walking around Echo Park Lake in those things. So maybe he just doesn't know.
I do think that's possible too. That maybe, so I think it might be a mix of the two. Have you ever seen, this is going to be mildly problematic, but I think I'm okay with this. So here we go. Have you ever seen like a Latinx immigrant? So they're kind of new to the country, but they're clearly gay, and they haven't come from a place where it was super safe or comfortable them to sort of express that gayness. So now they're doing it for the first time, but they're older and they don't quite know how to do it yet. You know what I'm saying? They're kind of learning that exposure. So you'll be on the bus with a guy who's wearing like a feather boa, and it's like, okay, man, I get it. You're trying here. You're just not, you don't have it right. You know what I'm saying? You don't have it down yet. You're working on it, but you don't have it quite yet. I wonder if that's what this guy's issue is he's like, this is my first time trying to be gay. I don't know how to do it. What do gay dudes wear? Oh, ballerina tights. Like he doesn't, you know what I'm saying? He still has like old homophobia in his head. So that's, even though he has some gay tendencies, that's what he thinks gay is. You know what I mean? Does that make any sense? Or am I just canceled? Should I just turn the podcast? That seemed reasonable to me. I apologize.
So he's like, I'm gay now. Guess I need to get some tights.
Yeah, like he just doesn't know. You know what I'm saying? I feel bad for him. I think he's maybe just like trying to figure it out.
Yeah, I mean, it might be what he'll, you know, I mean, we don't know because we're not him is the thing. Sure. And like, he might just be swinging for the fences, but it might be exactly what he wants, you know?
Yeah, maybe he just likes ballerina tights. That's true. We put a lot on him for no reason.
And again, I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with wearing ballerina tights. I do think walking up to a neighbor and being like, hey, Sam, did your dog get out? When like your junk is literally out is, I don't care if you're queer, straight, whatever. Like it's a little on the edge. Is all. Yeah.
It might be something with the mom, because you know that he goes in at the dinner and's like, Carlene was looking at my bulge. She was looking at my ballerina tights. I got options.
She's looking at this black swan. I think here's my other concern here though, and I do think where he does have a fault outside of forcing it on the neighbors, he's not respecting his wife at this point. Now, not to say that the wife has ultimate control on what you wear, but she has come to you with an issue and asked you to, let's find a compromise, and you're just not doing that and also getting worse, right? It started in the garage and now it's going to the neighbors. So I do think there's some level of like, hey, you're going to be in a relationship or a marriage. You guys have to figure out a comfortable, both parties have to come out of this okay. I think maybe he needs to, they need to compromise. Maybe you only have ballerina tights on like Tuesdays and Thursdays or something.
I don't know.
Yeah. I also wonder if she's actually said anything to him. That's the thing too, is like most of these people that write in, it's like, have you, like Steve was saying, the answer is usually, you guys need to communicate about this. Like, I wonder if she's even been like, honey, I've noticed that you're wearing other stuff. Like, this is an interesting change in your fashion choices, or did she just sit down at the typewriter and, like,
Dear Abby,
click clack to Dear Abby.
Yeah, so because then it's not like about the we're obviously talking about consent, whether this guy's showing his bulge around to people and he hasn't asked them and they didn't want to see that or anything. But it also, if you're kind of just, let's say, a quieter person or more introspective, and then your husband starts wearing tights, she's making it about the fashion choices, but these are some pretty chaotic choices that he's making if they're not communicating to each other about them. So maybe it's just not about, it's obviously not about the fashion choices, but I would be, I think if I didn't talk to Julia about it and I just started wearing ballet tights, even period. Even period, I run by almost every purchase by Julia, every tweet by Julia. I just started walking around. Me already, who's queer, who likes sucking dick, started walking around in ballet tights, or even around the house. It would be of some concern. So if this is just a regular suburban woman, then I could see where this isn't really about that. This is about like, what the fuck is happening to my husband right now?
Yeah. Absolutely. All right, let's do one more and then we'll get out. I'll let you guys go. We'll wrap this up. This one is maybe a bit much. We will see. It's weird how, like, to me, this one seems like the most serious, but it's also the shortest. Dear Abby, my daughter, the mother of 6 children, has left her husband and is now involved in a 3-way with a man and a woman. She has not shielded her child from these new friends, as she calls them. Because I won't let her friends come along, she refuses to visit me. I love my daughter, but I consider this relationship to be sick,
and I hate that she's exposing her children to these people.
Am I wrong to tell her to leave her bedroom activity out of the picture and visit me for just a day without them? We were always very close, but no more. Signed, Distressed Midwestern Granny.
I have so many thoughts.
This could be wrapped up in, I think, very easily in a very basic mind your business. I don't understand why this would, like, you have nothing. You don't have a say in how this woman, A, raises her children, B, conducts her romantic life. You either love your granddaughter or not. You know what I'm saying? But also,
the mom has a right to not want her to bring her her triad partners to her house. The mom really does. I've been in a triad before, and it would have been bonkers for me to bring them to someone's house, to my mom's house or to my dad's house. I mean, we went to places before too, but there were people that are aware of the situation, and everything. But I think the mom has a right to, like, say, please don't bring. I mean, it sounds like this is a lot happening very quickly.
Look, for sure this is going to be a lot for this Midwestern granny to take on. She's not used to polyamory all at once. I agree.
That's
obviously it's also just true. A lot of people. 2 partners, children, and a grandparent. Like, we're talking, how many people? I can't even keep count.
It's a small house. That's the problem. It's a
lot of human beings.
Well, I think my problem with it was how aggressive the mother was with the, I think this is sick and don't shield your children from this. But she's implying that they're like having this sexual relationship in front of the kids, but that's not necessarily the case, right? You're just, these are my partners or whatever. So yeah, I think I reacted to that wrong, but yeah, maybe you're right. But you probably, maybe you don't have to bring both of them every time.
I think that's what I don't understand is it sounds like an afternoon meeting that they're going for. It sounds like you're coming over for lunch. Who goes to their unicorn's mama house for lunch?
She's the unicorn. Oh yeah, it is her mama's house.
Yeah,
it's like, let's go meet your mom. Like,
as a polyamorous person, and I was very poly with my ex-wife, and I made all the mistakes someone could make, and I would have done this kind of shit. Is in the desire to normalize things and to be accepted, you're like, this is what we have to do.
Yeah.
Now that I'm older, I understand it probably won't be accepted by many people, if at ever in the next couple of hundred years. So just don't. There's no reason if the person doesn't want him there, don't do that. It's her mom. It's not like a friend or anything.
Yeah.
Go to your fucking mom's house. I go to my mom's house. We talk about the Bible for 4 hours. I don't give a fuck about the Bible anymore. I'll talk to my mom about the Bible for 4 hours. I'll clock out. I'll see her in another 6 weeks, and that's what we do.
Yeah.
But we don't know the age of the daughter. We don't know how long ago she left her husband. We don't know how quickly she's got with this couple. If it's happening very quickly like this, forgive me. I'll tell my poly people out there, but I could see where the grandma is like really flipping out and weirded out and concerned for her daughter.
Yeah.
You would think that like she goes from a single mother of 6 children to like now having a team of people to watch. You would think that the grandma would be happy.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. The grandma is not open to yet, and maybe she becomes open to it because the thing is, like, I agree with Steve, like, she gets to set a boundary of like, look, I think she's wrong to put like, I think this is sick and disgust. Like you can have those feelings and like, you don't have to put those out there, but you can't have a boundary and be like, I don't feel comfortable with them coming over. You do you, whatever. But like, and then if the daughter can respect that boundary, like maybe there's some room to grow together, but I do think what Maggie's saying is true. It's like, and my mom was not poly, but she dated people and I never met them, and I always wonder what that would have been like to have interaction with adults in that way, because I think people get so freaked out about what a kid is going to think that they remove opportunities for kids to experience life. And I just mean like meeting adults that you have a connection with, that like care about you right now. Like, I think that's actually really important in children's lives. And we get really scared and uptight, specifically in this country about it, and we don't stop to think about how like, it could be really helpful to have like different caring adults in children's lives, not just your family of origin, like actually that's like, the village that raises a child is like everybody that's involved. That's my sappy answer. I think they should all just put on ballerina tights and hang out.
Yeah. Pack a lunch, put on some ballerina tights. Absolutely.
Get some twisted noodles.
Yeah. Oh, the noodles are pretty twisted here, Rhea.
Get the box full of dad from the shrine. Bring it over for Thanksgiving. Put on your ballerina tights.
One time me and Julia were like feeling like extra, like it was during the quarantine, and we were like, we went to Taco Bell and we were like, man, let's fuck it up. And then they had like a $25 family meal, and we're like, should we? And we didn't, but we looked at each other and like, that'd be pretty cool if we did.
Also, by the way,
I found your maturity there very impressive. You just came from this pally background and making all these mistakes, and now at 43, your idea, let's fuck it up, is getting the $25 family meal from Taco Bell. That's actually very sweet, Steve.
Dude, I stopped drinking 2 years ago. It's all I have now. Is like fucking in the quarantine, and the food. It's just like this food is like, and even then, most of the time, it's like, all that sugar is going to keep me up all night. Like, we better not. And so,
am I ready for these toots on the other side of this? It's going to be some raunchy crunch wrap toots.
You guys, this has been awesome. Let's go ahead. Maggie, got anything? Where can people find you on the internet? Anything you want to let people know about?
Yeah, Maggie Maye, haha, on all of the different socials. Maye is spelled M-A-Y-E. And every Tuesday at 7, I do a podcast with a bunch of friends of mine called In the Green Zoom. It's always a lot of fun.
Oh, nice.
Check that out. Steve, what about you?
I have a couple of podcasts. I have Views from the Vistas, a movie podcast with my friend Zed and Honor. I have The Male Gaze with Alan Strickland Williams, Brody Reed, and Zed as well. And then I have Who's Your God, a religion ethics podcast with Amy Miller. And we have a big Christmas show coming up with a blockbuster lineup on December 20th. It's at 5 p.m. It's a Sunday early for East Coast people, but just keep an eye out for that. You can find me at Hernia on Instagram and Big Hern on Twitter.
And Rhea, how about you?
Yeah, I'm on Instagram and Twitter too often. Just my name at Rhea Butcher. I also am putting out like a bootleg album. It's called Pull Yourself Up by Your Bootleg. I don't have a date for it, but it's coming out soon. It's just like a night that I did at Comedy Works, because who knows when I'm going to record comedy again. But I'm putting that out for a special thing, which is cool. And awesome. I love the title. I came up with it myself. So that's all I've got.
And I'm at Chris Cubas on all social media. If you'd like the show, please take a second, go to Apple Podcasts, rate and review. That helps us out a lot. If you live in Austin and you need a free meal, go to Red Beans and Riceley Yours Austin, redbeansaustin.com. Sign up on Tuesday. We deliver red beans and rice on Sunday. So do that if you live in Austin. Otherwise, we will see you next week.